Hello everybody, my name is James Howe and this is Chef at Home. And once again, I'm taking on the challenge to create family dinner for four for less than £10. So I'm going to get into the DeLorean and step forward to where I just got back from Le Supermarché. So here we go then, I've just got back from the shop that was definitely set up by brothers Jim and Van, who sat round a table having a beer and decided to open a supermarket in Sheffield. That is definitely what happened, I haven't made that up at all. I might have made that up. But anyway, the meal I'm going to prepare is, I've got some diced lamb shoulder. I'm going to make that into a ragu with some chopped tomatoes, mushrooms, onions. Top that off with a sheet of puff pastry, this pre-rolled stuff, bit of mash and some peas. And the shopping list should appear on the screen now. So let's get cracking. Alright then. So first thing is going to be get this lamb on. It's quite a slow cook, but I like to just bung it all in and get it on. In with the lamb. I'm going to chop up a bit of garlic. It's going to break down as it cooks, so I'm not too worried. It can go quite rough. So I'll peel off and just chunky dice down. Nothing too precise at all. Into your pot. And some mushrooms, just quarter them. Pour them in. We'll leave them quite chunky because they're going to shrink a lot. Still want to be able to see them at the end. A tin of chopped tomatoes. Bang that straight in. And then a little bit of water. Bit of pepper. I find lamb quite salty, so I don't tend to salt it too much. Onto the heat. Medium heat. Lid on. I'm going to leave that there for a couple of hours. Come back to it every half an hour. Give it a stir. See how it's getting on. Then onto the pastry. Roll that out. So I want to make some like little hats for this, so I'm just going to use some at around about the same size as what I want to use, as what I want to make it, and just trace them round. You'd probably get closer to 8 out of this sheet this size, to be fair, but I only need 4, so we can keep the rest for something else. And I'm just going to peel those out and just cut off that paper. Saves on using some grease proof. Bung them onto a tray. As I say, that bit can be kept for something else. Make a pudding with it. And these into the oven, about 180, about 15 minutes. I'm going to knock on some mash. Portion wise, if they're like large jackets like this, I tend to think 1 potato is about right per person, and chances are there'll be a bit extra left over and all. Anybody else listen to music usually while they're cooking? Sometimes I find it really weird that I'm just stood here, silence around me, I'm stood talking to myself. This is my bloody lockdown, just talking to myself for several hours a day. Anyway, before I have a full meltdown, quarter of the spuds, fill it with water, a bit of salt, onto boil. I'm also just going to chuck on a smaller pan of water for my peas. So once the spuds are cooked, drain off, mash through, bit of salt and pepper, and then I'm going to hoy in a big old lump of butter. I love great buttery mash, me. Probably explains why I'm so fat, but there you go. I'm going to take the pastry out of the oven, nice crisp little hats that are going to sit on top, and my lamb has reduced down by around about half by this point, so it's nice and thick. Got my peas in at the back simmering away, so I think I'm round about ready to start plating up. So I'll start off with the mash. If you're wondering, the cling film's on the spoon because it's, as you can see, it helps the mash come off the spoon and it doesn't stick to it. Grab my lamb. Probably, in all fairness, probably a 5th portion out of that. And sit my little hats on and give it a bit of greenery with some peas. Yeah, I probably could get another portion out of that, to be off there. But there we are, lamb braised in tomato, onion and mushroom, almost like a ragu, over raked buttery mash and peas. So once again, my challenge to you is I need a name for this dish. So look out for the link in the description, so let me know what you think I should call it. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you after.